Alright, hello everyone. Today we're going to be making a review on Neverlose, which I wasn't actually interested from the start. That's why I never really got it as like an inviter. But it went public, and ever since I was using it, my friends started calling it good, and I just caught interest, and I bought my sub, and I've been using it now for a little while. So I figured I'm going to take a look at what I think is best and what I think is worst. Some bugs or just general stuff that I want to get out before people pay for this. Now, one thing I want to get clear is that this cheat is actually pretty good. I think for now it's one of the better cheats out there. It's probably the best cheat if you are experienced, but if you're more of a new player, I think onetap is better. And the first time I heard about Neverlose was back in when Nemesis released. I had a lot of beta users from Neverlose coming to my DMs, and they were trying to get me to swap from Nemesis over to Neverlose, and I just wasn't interested. You know, they were telling me, hey, we're gonna vouch you in if you want to, you can make an application whenever you want. And I said, no, it's fine. And some of the betas even told me, yeah, you know, I don't actually want Neverlose anymore, I just want to go back into Nemesis, and do you have anyone that wants to invite me, stuff like that. And I don't know, Neverlose wasn't really one of my to-do lists before it went public. I never really caught interest in it, but now all my friends are just using it and saying that it's the best cheat, so that's why I gave it a try. And this cheat is definitely not bad. It's definitely one of the better cheats for the moment, but some of the cons of this is that Neverlose is actually rarely consistently good. That's one of the reasons why I was never really interested, because Neverlose always struggled to kind of stay relevant together with onetap and Skeet or whatever. It just never really maintained its performance, so there was no reason for me to ever really get it in the way that it was coded like this. But yeah, I'm giving it my try now, and I think it's a generally decent cheat. I don't think it's worth using for anything else other than for scouting, because the scouting and the brute force result for this is actually pretty nice. But yeah, this video is gonna have timecodes down in the bottom, and you can go in there and just click around if you want to. Alright, so one of the first things we are going to look at is the menu here, and right off the bat I must say that I don't really dislike it. I definitely don't have anything against, you know, anything of this. This is decent. I like the autosave system. The scripting, I mean, it is what it is. And in general, it has a very clean layout. For my own taste, it's a bit too modern. I like the Nemesis menu, and I like the Skeet menu. That just brings back some memories, because they're a bit more old school sided. But it's definitely not a bad menu. I enjoy the skin changer. The skin changer is actually pretty good. It has some bugs, like for example, if you want to pick a glove, right? You just go to some hand wraps, and then you go, oh, you can't pick other skins, right? You can only pick these ones. But then if you go here and you go to new, go to any other knife or weapon, and you can do this, show all skins. You can take anything here. Let's go to a random selection. Let's just take Tiger Tooth, save it, whatever, and then we go here. You go over to the gloves, and then you have all these options you can choose from, apart from the glove skins. So it's a bit interesting how this works, but if you have custom gloves, you can do this. They do this, and you can use custom gloves to make them look the way that you want them to. using Michi or something like that. But in general, I really like the skin changer and I really like the inventory changer. It's definitely no influence from other cheats, but they do it very, very well. And the second thing we're going to take a look at right now is the Ragebot section. And honestly, it's pretty well made. It has some decent, drop downs, and it's pretty customizable for what I know. And we can go over to one of my actual configs here to show off the Ragebot section. And it's also a good time to talk about the bind system, because I use mouse binds in order to get like idle tick, for example, where you have all these binds on one key, and you can do this teleport peek, and it's very good that you can actually use multiple binds per feature, because it leads you to so many stuff and you don't need these luas like you do on Skeet. In order to get like idle tick or something like that, you can just make it yourself. And the Ragebot in general is pretty good. I think the auto sniper, if we test it here, it feels a little bit clunky compared to other cheats. I think it feels very different to be using this. Like, it doesn't really feel as good as Skeet does. It could just be my opinion, but I think it definitely feels the best with Scout or Up. And that's probably what it's best for. So Scout is definitely the best option if you want to try to use Neverlose. The pistol is a bit weird. The R8's pretty good, but I have some bad clips of it shooting client side a whole bunch, and that's just a general concern of mine, the client side. But 99% of the time, you're not going to shoot client side. You're actually going to perform pretty well with the cheat, no matter what weapon you're using, because the Ragebot is actually pretty good. And while talking about this, it leads me to the anti-aim tab. Now, the anti-aim tab here, I must say that the anti-aim is pretty dogshit for Neverlose. Now, I use a script that my friend made, for anti-aim, because it's actually not that bad. But in general, the default Neverlose anti-aim is actually pretty dogshit. I think that there are definitely some good free Lua options if you want to enhance your experience, but the default Neverlose anti-aim is dogshit. You get headshotted quite a lot. If you go against another Neverlose user, you're just gonna get brute force without, any effort at all from the enemy team. This desync oddshot does work, but I have it on disable because against these very good brute force resolvers, it's easy to get headshotted even with this on. So yeah, in general, the Neverlose anti-aim is pretty bad, but there's definitely some good Lua options. Like if you don't have a private strip like mine, you can use this one. When I use this one, I just use this option. This is all I have for it. And these are decent settings. The anti-brute force is pretty good. And I suggest using this Lua if you're just a new user trying to get some better anti-aim settings. The default Neverlose anti-aim definitely works, but I think for something like Skeet or onetap, the default anti-aim on there is way better than what Neverlose has at the moment. But there's also some very good Lua options, so I guess it gives up for it. You don't need to pay for these, dog shit Scout Lua or, Phantom Eye, even though Phantom Eye is pretty good. There's definitely some good free options like this one, just for some extra features that's gonna help you through the way. But heading into the visuals, I'm gonna have to admit and say that the visuals is actually pretty damn good. I don't really like this one, but I guess when it goes with this one, you know, where you can choose where you want it to be, I guess it's a pretty good thing to have, this little box here. But in general, I always thought these are kind of pointless, because you can just look at the enemy here, you don't actually need this whole thing, but since they have all this, I think it's actually quite useful. And it's a very unique idea. Even though like a lot of these like free Legitbot pastes and shit like that always had this, I think they do it really well. And you can, you know, use this to not see the health bar behind the wall, which is also pretty nice. You can of course do this if you want to do that, and yeah. In general, the visuals are actually pretty nice. It has a very customizable system by having this glow here, and then you can customize the glow. You know, it's just a lot of customizability when it comes to making visuals, which is always good in a cheat. Neverlose has a lot of customizability when it comes to weapon, grenades, fonts and whatnot, so there's definitely something that's gonna spark your interest no matter what you have. And now we're going to take a look at the Legitbot. So I loaded up my legit config here. As you can see, it has this cool ESP thing that we talked about earlier. But if we do this and we do give weapon AK-47, we can tell here that the RCS is actually pretty good compared to onetap. And I'm going to compare this a lot with onetap, the Legitbot, because it is a public cheat after all, and the biggest market is Neverlose versus onetap at the moment. So when it comes to being a legit cheater, I think Neverlose definitely has some more options, and way better options when it comes to the Legitbot. There's definitely some nice option here. You can do like this, for example, if you want to focus more on the body. And the RCS in general is way better than what onetap has to offer. So if you want a legit cheat and you need a decent public hack, you need to get an aimware for legit cheating at least. But if you want an all-in-all good hack, you can use Neverlose. It has everything you need. And if you ever buy this hack because of me, then you can just message me and I'll give you my legit config. But it has a lot of good options in terms of legit bot and legit features to help you be more legit in the game. And it's just a regular legit bot, but it's working really well together. Now that is going to finish up this video. I mean, quick summary about it all is that Neverlose is a pretty good hack for being a public cheat. It's definitely one of the cheats that you should be getting. I mean, if you're looking to trying something out and you know you're trying to get back into scouting or you know opping, for example, it's definitely the best for those. And all I can say is that onetap is probably better if you're a new player, but if you know what you're doing, you know, if you have some experience in HVH, if you have your playstyle down, if you have the spots down, if you're just generally better in HVH than what the new player would be, I would always suggest getting Neverlose at the moment, because it's actually pretty good. And you know, not very user friendly, but that's besides the whole point. You can always get free configs, for example from me, because I gave out my free config all the time. But that is going to wrap up this video. I hope you guys have been having a good day so far, and I only hope it gets better. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments, and if there's anything you need to know, just ask me. Yeah. Alright, so have a good day everyone. Peace out.